Hello and welcome to Wednesday webinar. I'm coming to you today from Calliope River, travelling with my puppies for my friends on the road again. I'm Julia Hartman from the Bantax National Accountants Group, and today I'd like to talk to you about developing your parents' property, something that they probably bought before 19th of September 1985. So this is about a pre-CGT asset that was your parents' home. It seems to be quite a common question I'm getting now, so I gather, down in Sydney and that, where there were once big blocks and now they can be subdivided, people are thinking about this. Now the first thing is that if you pull down the home and build on the blocks, then you're in a business, you're a developer and you're going to cop all the normal taxes, GST and that sort of stuff. If you can keep it to merely realising an asset, you can save a lot in taxes. For example, you haven't crossed over to a business, so you still got that CGT exempt pre-85 asset status, there's no tax on the profits you make on the subdividing the blocks off. That's providing you only do the bare minimum, the minimum amount the council require to cut it up, so that you can say you are merely realising an asset. Now, because you're merely realising an asset, you also don't have to register for GST because your turnover is zero. The blocks you were selling, they're sale of a capital asset, so they don't count towards the GST turnover threshold of $75,000 to force your parents to register for GST. So, you've got to count the numbers, but don't forget that when it comes to building, that's where most of the risk is. So it might not be worth building those townhouses. It might be better to cut it up into blocks. Just depends. Obviously, a strata plan, you could probably get more on the land. So do your numbers. Anyway, assuming that you do go for cutting off just land and selling vacant blocks, this means that you're probably going to have to demolish the house. Now, if mum and dad own the property, there's a good chance, because it's a pre-85 asset, that you've probably only got one parent left, and they probably owned it as joint tenants. So let's assume mum's the surviving spouse. She has inherited half that property from your father at the date of his death. Now that means that half of the property is probably a post-85 asset. Your father probably died after 1985, so only half the property is pre-85 in that case. That's fine. If your mum's been living there all her life, since your father died, then she's going to cover it with her main residence exemption. The trouble is that if you're going to sell off vacant blocks, then you're probably going to demolish the family home. Once you demolish the family home, you demolish the main residence exemption retrospectively, completely lose it back to the date of your father's death. So, if you do have to do that, and it's still probably worth it, because the house is probably in the middle of the block, then you've got to think about the capital gains tax calculation. So you've got two assets. One, pre-85, that's your mother's half, don't have to worry about that. The cost base of the half your mother inherited from your father is the market value at the date he died. And then you can increase that cost base under section 110-25 subsection 4. I tell you that because it's a little known section. You can increase that by all the rates and anything else that your mother spent on the house during that time, on the property, fencing, even lawn mowing, fuel. It's just a matter of receipts. Maybe start keeping those receipts. So it's still not much tax. You're still merely realising an asset, so no GST, no business profits. What if both parents have died? Again, they're not going to die at the same time, are they? So you're still inheriting two separate assets. The one you inherit from your mother, that is market value at the date she died, so it's just happened now. The one you inherited from your father, or she inherited from your father, that goes back to still the market value at the date of his death. So you inherit it from your mother, but she's got a cost base on that. It's not a pre-85 asset to her. So you inherit that at market value at the date of his death, the other half at the date of her death, and then you're going to be up for capital gains tax on any profits made after that, providing you're merely realising an asset. Now, the idea would be, if you can get the DA done for the subdivision before the last parent dies, so that you can get as high as possible market value at the date of their death. Hope that all made sense. Now, next week I'll talk more about these assets that are post 85, when the land's post 85, which is quite possible that it'll apply to you too. So please tune in next week, and thank you for staying to the end.